mean, you're really seeing the fervor expand and explode in a way we've never seen it before. Ticket sales up 145%. Let's get right down to the important things. Prognosticate for me. Who is going to be the MVP in this season?
Well, I think there's three candidates. I always say A'ja Wilson. She's coming off a historic year, and she only looks better. She said she had a really good offseason as far as mental and physical rest. I was talking to her coach from South Carolina, Dawn Staley, and Dawn said A'ja came here for a few weeks, and watching her work taught our young players a lot about what it takes to be a WNBA All-Star. So I would say A'ja. Breanna Stewart is always in that conversation. She was the MVP year before last. And then I'm going to put Napheesa Collier up there. I think Napheesa is a player that only gets better. We saw her as the MVP for Unrivaled in the offseason. And then I would say Caitlin Clark. Caitlin finished in the top 4 voting last year for MVP. I don't see why she can't be even better this year because her game continues to elevate.
And what are you expecting to see from her? I mean, obviously, we've seen her coming back, bulked up, stronger, ready to play even a more physical game than we saw from her last year. What are you expecting ahead of this first tip-off and the year ahead for her?
I got to see Caitlin Clark play about 10 days ago in an exhibition game. The Indiana Fever went back to Iowa, and what I could see is she's leaner and stronger. She told me that she has actually lost, not weight, but her body has kind of recompositioned a little bit. I think I just made that word up, but she hasn't gained weight, but she's gained muscle. How's that? She said she's the strongest she's ever felt. And that's really important because I think one thing that rookies and people don't understand about this league, it is grown women. They are strong. They are physical. And I thought Caitlin did a pretty good job adapting to the physicality last year. But I think it means something that she thought she needed to get stronger. And so for her to come into this season and tell me I'm the strongest I've ever been, I think that's important for Caitlin Clark. And then you already saw it. She's hitting like 36-foot shots, like just insane. Her range never went anywhere. So I think it's going to be a fun season for her.
Who's the rookie that you really want to keep an eye on?
Oh, gosh. I mean, I think there's a lot. But one rookie that I've got my eye on this is going to be an odd answer. Obviously, Paige Bueckers, the #1 overall pick for Dallas. I think how she acclimates to playing alongside Arike Ogunbowale is really interesting for Dallas. Their first game is sold out as well. But then Sanaya Fagan is a player. She just posted this incredible video yesterday. She's a late round draft pick. She sat in that draft room for a long time, and that's hard. And I watched this video of her making the LA Sparks yesterday. She's a player that played at South Carolina, really started to blossom this year. And I think she's a player that maybe a lot of people slept on that could be good in this league.
We had Rakia Jackson on Women's Sports Now exclusively on Roku, and we were blown away by her and also what we expect to see from her this season. So you mentioned the Sparks, so I bring that up. I'm looking at sleeper teams. And again, I'm biased because I work with Renee Montgomery and I know how hard she works on building the dream. But I'm curious about who you see as being a potential sleeper team out there.
I do think Atlanta is a sleeper team. Anytime you've got Brittany Griner at 6'8", I do think Brittany still has a lot of gas in her tank. And then they also got another all-star, Brianna Jones from the Connecticut Sun. So their front court is big and strong and a mismatch every single night. And then they have got one of the most exciting players in the league who won both the MVP of the All-Star Game and the Skills Challenge last year, Alicia Gray. I think she's a player that not enough people talk about in this league, so I want to put her name out there. So I do think the contenders are the New York Liberty to repeat, the Las Vegas Aces, the Minnesota Lynx, and I do think Atlanta has a chance to be a team that people sleep on. They've got a new coach who is kind of a run and gun. He's got an interesting analytical system. I think they're going to have a lot of fun this year.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show live weekdays from 12 to 3 p.m. Eastern on Roku Sports Channel in the U.S.